my button.
I'm hitting my button. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another super exciting episode of A Fast Charging with B&B. I am Brian.
And I'm bare. Oh, shit. I screwed up.
Oh, good. Well, this is episode 73, so no one expects us to have our business sorted out just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my shit screwed up. Uh,
Maybe.
maybe. I don't know. No, I think I got it right. Sweet. It came up with some jumbly characters for my title name. I was like, I didn't do that. But then it's like working.
So we're doing a shorter episode because for a lot of folks, an hour is kind of difficult. And then we'll pre-tape a show for tomorrow that goes into depth on one topic. Tomorrow's topic is going to be how to Turo, a subject on which Bear is quite an authority. Yeah, we'll see. You guys can tell us. And part of it is also that for a lot of you, the news is no longer news by the time we get to it. And that's why I don't cover as much Tesla stuff, is because, especially for Tesla fans, they're super engaged and they already know all these things, which is why we try and get out into the world a bit and find some other stories from other brands. And the true leader in EVs, who would that be, Bear?
Mrs. Barra.
She is
Barra?
the leader. Yeah.
Yes, and we had some more Hummer spotting this week. I saw one yesterday, and Riley saw one today.
So let me guess. Red and black.
So close. If
Darn
it. They were white. Yeah.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, they were white.
I feel like I might have seen one or all of them white before.
Yeah. I'm probably on my 15th spotting.
Funny.
Every one of them has been white.
So,
Everyone.
Last week we talked about how Volkswagen was Osborning their ID3 and 4 with the announcement prematurely of their ID2. Well, what's better than ruining your entire market with an ID2 than announcing an even cheaper ID1?
Yes, I heard that next week we're going to be announcing the ID.5.
I think that's next week, and that one's going to be, I want to say, 10,000. And then, of course, into April, probably the 0.3 and 2 will be announced. And those, I assume, are free.
Why not?
Let's just why make not?
It free.
And then, make sure all buyers know, do not buy any of our cars. Wait for these.
You better wait, because something better is coming. Something cheaper is going to be coming out soon.
So dumb. But okay, hey, if you guys can profitably make a $17,000 compact EV that buyers want to buy, fantastic. That's big news, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's 17,000 pounds, by the way.
So 20 grand. But I think this is a direct response to Tesla semi-announcing their compact car. Yeah. And the reason it was delayed was because Tesla didn't actually announce a compact car, but they kind of did.
Yeah. Did you see how small these batteries are going to be this? Yeah, 38 and 56 kilowatts. So you can expect the one at 17,000 pounds to be 38 kilowatts, which is not much more than an Electromechanica Solo, which has 17 or 19. And that only gets 100 miles of range, and that car is going to be half the weight of this ID.2 thing. So
I mean, there are hybrids with 38 kilowatt hour batteries.
Are there?
Probably. Someone can tell us in the chat. Tell me. I must know. Anybody else got some new cars?
Of course. Audi has a gazillion new cars.
Of course.
Yeah. And this is a very beautiful car that we will never, ever see on the road. But before we talk about it, I have to give a big old WTF, what is coming off of that driver's side window?
So the doors are of a size that would not permit that window to roll down, I think. I think that might be a seam like the old Subarus had with that little goofy window in it.
Yeah.
So that maybe that's what it is that's how you get the windows small enough to roll down while maintaining the panoramic views.
Yeah, it almost looks like redneck wind deflectors, that you can put them down 3 inches so you could smoke.
My stepdad had those. Yep.
Yeah. Good for your stepdad.
Good times. Good
Yeah, a
times.
beautiful car, except for that window situation. I'd love to see what that really has going on there.
So they're going
Because
to launch 20 new cars in the next how?
what was your question? You cut out again.
How will they do it? How will they get half of the how are they going to get 10 plus new EVs in 2 years?
Because they're going to lie about it. They're going to do it. This is how they're going to do it. They're going to make a derivative of each one. Like the Model 3 has the long range and the short range. So they'll consider that to be two. Oh, you throw in a performance, that's three. So they're going to take in, let's say, call it the Q4 e-tron, and then they're going to have a Q4, another level, and another level, and another
Grand
level.
Touring,
Yeah, a Grand Touring, a Touring,
Laredo,
a Pure, a GT,
an
and those are,
Ocean.
yeah. So yeah, that they're just it's just a bluff. It's a bait and switch. It's not going to be new models per se. It's just going to be different trim levels, and that's the only
Maybe
way they're going to do it. Because if they're going to have new models, it ain't happening. Uh,
20, 20 with over half. Come on. Oh, by the way, I did a poll asking the viewers how many. 0 got 21%. 1 to 3 won the poll at 58%. 4 to 8 got 5%, and 9 plus got 16%. Have you no faith, my friends? Have you no faith?
I have no
Because I
faith.
don't.
I would bet
Yeah.
my hairpiece that they will not get it out.
I will take that bet because I need one desperately.
Okay, and I don't.
So,
I don't know why I bought it.
well, people buy Merkins for different reasons. Did you know that Ford has recalled 1.5 million vehicles to fix them brake hose and wiper arms?
Yeah, apparently the brake hoses can leak. Uh, Obviously, this isn't big news all over the place because it doesn't say Tesla recalls 1.5 million vehicles, or Lucid, or Nikola, or Rivian. It says Ford, so it's not going to be big news. But the good news is that my car was not on that list. My
I was wondering what percentage of your Fords are currently under recall. So it sounds like only what, a third?
No, I have one that just came off of recall. The Bronco
Oh, you got
Sport.
it.
Yes, I got it, and it booked up right away. I've got
Nice.
four or five bookings for it, so I'm happy with that. I do have a 2017 Ford Fusion, but it is a hybrid, so it may not fall under there because it probably has different types of brakes because of the regenerative braking.
Perfect.
So I may have sneaked by that one. So yay
And the
me!
Bronco is such a cool looking truck. I'm not
No,
surprised it's going out.
no, it's not. It's a Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
It's not a full size Bronco. It's like the trainee of
But it's the
Broncos.
cool new looking one.
No, it's not cool
Oh.
looking.
Oh, well then I take back all the kind things I said, and now I'm
Good.
just going to put it in the same category as the Hyundai Veloster, which has also been recalled due to a fuego risk.
A Flago?
Fuego. Mm-hmm. See.
Oh, Fuego. Okay.
See.
I didn't know we were translating to Spanish.
We're dipping in and out. It's
Oh,
kind of nice. John wants to make sure.
see.
Did we mean Velociraptor? And yes, I meant Velociraptor. Now,
Oh, hell yeah.
these stories normally you wouldn't hear about them, but the circles I hang out in social media have a lot of Tesla people in them, so they constantly will post these. Oh, you're not interested in this? These are normal things that happen every day? Well, you guys are always posting the anti-Tesla stuff. This is normal.
Yeah,
So,
it's very common because my Bronco, it came off of the recall was for a fire risk.
yeah.
Chance of fire, explosions, death, mayhem, everything like that. And but you not really big news in the news, but yeah, I lost use of that vehicle on Toro from the end of November until just about a week ago. So yeah, that was pretty big for me. So
That's painful.
yeah, it's
But
a real
at
kick
least
in
it
the
wasn't.
shorts.
At least you got it back and it wasn't wrecked. Do you know that EV batteries lack repairability leading some insurers to junk whole cars even after a scratch.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if they're totaling them because of a scratch.
That sounds dishonest, Lawrence Richard. Oh, his name's Larry Dick.
God.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Let's just be happy his first name isn't Harold.
It might as well be. That's clearly his middle name. Yeah, so, like I've always pointed out, if your EV battery is substantially damaged, it will be replaced. They will not repair it. It is not safety guaranteed at that point. But if your car is damaged to such an extent that the battery is damaged, you probably got a lot more damage going on.
No.
Wouldn't you say?
I would not say that because it is possible. It is possible, like, and I've seen this running over something on the ground, like let's say, a steel rod, like a piece of rebar, and it just punctures an area of the battery. Let's just say it's even like in a corner, you know.
Sure.
There definitely could be better ways, but they'd be more expensive ways to make these so that you could replace sections of them. Or even if you just split them in a half, so that they were, instead of one large battery pack, it was two separate battery packs. So if one failed or was had to be replaced, you can just replace one section because of damage.
So Sandy was addressing that question. Sandy Monroe from Monroe and Associates addressed that question because the BMW i3 was made exactly that way. It was very serviceable, in part because they didn't know how much warranty repairs these things were going to need. So we should design it in such a way that we can replace modules, replace cells, do whatever we got to do. And what they found was that it added a lot of complexity, a lot of weight, and a lot of cost, and a lot of time to manufacturing, and didn't add much in terms of actual serviceability because, for the most part, these are extremely rare incidences. So it ended up being not an effective way to build them.
Okay, and I don't doubt that. So my question, another question I have, two questions. One, if a battery pack on the bottom was to get scratched and someone was obnoxious enough to file a claim, the insurance company has to repair that, right? Or
no, they have to assess it. If somebody rear ends you in a parking lot and there's no visible damage, you can ask the insurance company to assess it, but they're not going to replace your bumper.
Right, but if there is damage, they will replace it. So if your bumper gets scraped, they're going to repair or replace the bumper. If the bottom of your battery pack bottoms out and gets a long scrape on the bottom, and you go, well, I want my battery looked at, and they go, okay, well, it's been scraped. Well, repair the cosmetic damage. Do they have the option of saying no?
I assume so, because it's underneath the car. You'll get scrapes under cars. It just, I don't think they would be under any obligation to do more than what's required to ensure that it's safe and functional. It doesn't have to look the same. It's not a show car where you're putting it up on the lift every day.
Okay, well then my next question, wouldn't you think the safety features that are available on cars, when you have a Tesla that can go 1,000,000 miles further than a car without the same safety features, without getting into an accident, doesn't that make their risk that much less that it might offset the cost of maybe having to replace a car because of the battery pack every 10,000 I don't know, whatever time frame.
So I should inform the audience that we both have colds. We assume we caught it on the show last week, which wasn't even in person. It's a little weird. So my head is a little cottony and cloudy today, and I apologize. And I don't know if yours is because I can't tell, but I feel like we're a little out of sync in terms of understanding each other. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how the
I'm
longevity
having
and safety
I'm
will be.
having another cough drop.
Well,
That'll
I'm
help me.
having what Europeans say tastes like medicine, root beer.
I agree.
Did you know that South Korea is going to build the world's largest chip center with $230 billion investment from, I believe the CEO's name is Samsung?
No.
No. No.
Could be. That's not unreasonable now that I think about it. Hey, earlier we were talking about where they're getting all that money from, and I think I may have it. I think I, I think this guy was on the Squid Games.
Oh,
I think,
that's it.
yeah,
That's how they got enough money because 230 billion, quarter trillion, that's a little bit of change. I looked it up. Samsung has close to 100 billion cash on hand, but that deficit is tremendous and you don't want to spend all of it. But there is government financing, and it says it was not immediately clear whether the previously announced investment would overlap with the one announced Wednesday by the government. I assume it will, because otherwise, taking out a loan for 150, 200 billion dollars would be potentially catastrophic if anything goes wrong.
could you imagine the monthly payments on that?
No, no. Even at 12%, it'd be $10 billion. At
That's all.
12%. Yeah. Or $20 billion. Yeah. That's more than their annual cash flow. That doesn't work. So, yeah, let's. So that's good. That's good news. We need that. We need more chip fabs in more countries, more diversification, more competition. It's all good.
Yeah, but there is a lack of diversification there because when it comes down to it, it's going to be Taiwan and South Korea that have all the chip manufacturing,
And
besides China.
doesn't Japan have some?
I'm
I'm
sure
not
that they
sure.
do, and we
Yeah.
do here. We do here in the United States,
Yep.
with Intel, but the majority of it seems to still be with Taiwan and South Korea.
For
And
sure.
and if you get the Chinese and the North Koreans get all riled up, and something happens uh, with those two countries, they want to devastate Taiwan and South Korea. Don't hit their people, hit their chip manufacturing facilities. That's
Yeah.
that huge hit on their economy.
The
Um,
world economy.
the world economy, and then who makes all the chips? Oh, well, China makes all the rest of the chips. It,
It's scary. So clean electricity to reach as high as 90% by 2030. It's interesting. I think this number might be a little optimistic. But then if you look at their estimates for what EV adoption will be, they're thinking, oh, we might hit 20, 22% by 2030. So I'm not sure. It feels like very different people making all these estimates. Do you think we'll hit 90% by
no,
2030? No,
no,
no way.
no. In this article, they said they took the high end of the estimates by doubling each year what we were going to add. They went. I don't know. This is a government estimate, so maybe they were just trying to make everything look like flowers and roses or whatever that expression is. Uh,
Yeah,
because I don't see this. Hey, yeah, it'd be great, but I just don't know about that.
yeah. Yep, I agree. Do you know that there was a rule that was made a couple year or two ago? Maybe it was last year, where California said we're going to phase out completely, not just the sale of new diesel big rigs, but also we're going to put a 20-year expiration on their use at all. And there was a appeal was filed, and the EPA has ruled nope, they're allowed to set that rule. So the clock
Yeah.
is now ticking for diesel big rigs in California. Yeah,
So does that apply to Class 8 trucks, or is it
I
anything
believe
below
so.
that?
I believe so. But they've got 20 years to make the transition. And the good
But
news is, yeah.
but so how does that work? They can't register them in California,
So
or they can't drive through the state.
Oh boy, that's a good question because all the trucks are already like every U-Haul is registered in Arizona.
Hmm.
I don't know about that. That would be a pretty massive oversight. But
Well, yeah.
interestingly, yeah, 2024 is when emissions need to be cut.
See, now I don't think that they can ban trucks that are registered in, let's say, Nebraska from coming into California. I think that violates some sort of interstate free trade or whatever it might be. Somebody smarter than me might know. So I think this move is a nothing burger, except for the few companies that would still register older trucks in California. And hey, there's other things that come into effect here. You get a truck that's old, you probably already replaced that engine once or twice, making it probably more efficient. Is it
Yeah.
still not allowed? Is it the year the truck was built or the year the engine was built?
Yeah.
I,
So under
I'm
the section which trucks are impacted, it points out that there are a lot of in-state trucks that would be impacted. Delivery vans, garbage trucks, semi-trucks that are all within the state. So if it's I think allowing out-of-state big rigs in would not necessarily be an issue. And I think by 20 years from now, there would be so few of them anyway due to natural attrition that it wouldn't necessarily be such a big deal to have a few rolling around.
No, if you're talking about 20 years from now, they won't be allowed to because
They won't be able to re-register. So
so
if you
that's
bought one
trucks built
last
this
year,
year. This
yes,
trucks built in 2023 won't be legal in
in 2045
2045.
is what it looks is what it looks like. Yeah. I think it's so far out it doesn't matter is what I
Yeah,
think.
I agree in that sense because it's in 20 years it's not really going to matter that much. The trucks coming out now are a lot more efficient than the ones that they're complaining about, which are 20 years old today. Because they're talking about trucks that were built in 2003 are probably pretty crappy compared to the ones that are being built now. And
Yeah.
of course, this article states that all emissions exhausts from these diesel trucks account for 30%. Should we even talk about that?
If you want to, Bear loves these numbers because did you know that all 10 types of pollution each cause the majority? So that's
Hmm.
like 700% pollution. And when the numbers add up like that, I can see why we need to take action.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere in this article, there's something about these old diesel trucks are accounting for 30% of all nitrogen oxide gases, which doesn't roll with me because it seems that every time you read an article about one particular thing, it always accounts for 30%, 50%, 20%. But if you were to add up all these numbers, and we're talking about car emissions, we're talking about taxi emissions, we're talking about cow farts, uh, anything that is going to have emissions always accounts for a majority of the emissions that we're trying to get rid of. And like Brian said, they add up to 700%. So it makes you start to go, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about real stuff? Or you just want to make a clean environment? Do that, but don't say it accounts for the majority of the pollution. Yeah,
Why? Why would she do that? Does she
why
not
would
know? So uh,
nobody knows what
the
Brian
other
was
thing
talking
is
about?
the other thing is, you know what killed the Crown Vic as taxis nationwide? It wasn't rules and regulations, although they did stop being in ready supply from the being former police cruisers. It was because the cost of gas. They all became Priuses instead.
Priuses are really, really super ugly cars. That's all I have to
I
say
think they
about
did
that.
that on purpose. So, do you know Oregon has run out of their vehicle rebate money?
Yeah, well, they gave it away to all the rich people, right?
Well, that's the fun thing is I did find in here they were bragging. Oh, 1 in 5. 1 in 5 of the credits went to low and medium income families. Let me find it.
Why don't you
And
find that?
man, why don't I find it? Because my head is clouded. Anyway, 1 in 5.
1 in 5. So, does that bother you?
That means that 80% of the people who got it were above moderate income. I'm not sure if that's what the objective was. If it was just to get any electric cars on the road, I mean, I think just putting up more chargers would have done it.
Yeah,
And I did look up the definition.
I don't think the goal of this bill was for low income people to go out there and buy cars.
No.
That EVs, they were there to get more EVs on the road.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't sweat the things like that if the rebates went to low or moderate income households, when probably the majority of that fifth went to moderate income households, because low income households shouldn't be buying a $40,000 or $50,000 car, because that's going to be probably more than what they're making in a year. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's not what's important for their goal. The goal is to get more EVs out there.
Yeah. Yep, and it worked. Low income community. My God, woman, I am going to power off. I don't know what on earth she thinks she's doing.
Still don't know who he's talking. You got a ghost?
Yeah, my phone keeps ringing, so I have turned it off. A low-income community means a medium family income with less than 50% of the area median income. Anyway, so
wait. Did you just say it's based on the area
income?
So it's not based on. So if you live in a rich neighborhood, but you're like the poorest of the rich people in that neighborhood, you would be low income?
Yes, that's right. Yes. That is actually me. My God. Let me find out what's going on here.
All right. Brian has
Somebody better be on fire because I'm in the middle of a live show, honey. What's going on?
And he doesn't have mute. Does he have mute? Oh, okay. Well,
okay, cool.
Digital
I
Blade.
am on a live show, so I will talk to you soon.
All right, let's watch him, I guess. You should have tried that mute button out. Throw it.
Apparently, to my surprise, I was unaware that it is raining. So that is what is critical enough to disrupt the show. There we go. Muted.
Wait a minute. You're lying. You're lying.
No.
We were talking about the weather earlier, and you told me it was sunny out.
It was, and now it's raining.
Hey, my phone's ringing now. Should I get it? Look, my phone's ringing.
It's certainly her.
It's your wife calling me, telling me that what the weather
to come
is.
Fly up and grab me. So, and grab me. Do you know Waze is going to be directing you to charging stations that are specific to your EV?
Well, that's good. Another app.
Or the same app you might already have. A lot of people have Waze.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is like this article literally starts off, you might need one less app if you install this app.
The Paperwork Reduction Act, I need you to sign a piece of paper here.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think this is like super incredible. Unless you're renting a car, you probably know how to find charging stations. And maybe it's your first week with an EV. And maybe you might need this. But once you've got an EV, you kind of know where you can go and kind of figure that out fairly quickly. For example, the Polestar, the Mustang Mach-E,
Yeah.
the Hyundai. I know I go to Electrify America. Guess where I go with the Teslas?
Electrify America.
No, but you were very close. You're so close. So I'm going to give you a cough drop to help you here since we obviously passed our cold.
Ready? Ah, I missed it. So
Oh,
the
God. I
so
hope the
the
mouse doesn't find it.
oh, good lord. So the but the idea is there are already some, and there will be more superchargers that you can bring a CCS vehicle to, and I mean technically with a Tesla, if you've got an adapter, you could go to any charger except the Chatamo ones. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you need the expensive adapter for the Tesla ones. You can't go to Electrify America
Right,
unless you got
without it.
without the $500 adapter. Or and well, that's what it was priced last time I looked. I was like, all right, I'll take a pass on that. But you can go to the slower chargers, or if somebody has like a 40 amp charger, was like the juice box. If
Yeah.
someone's got something like that set up, you can put the adapter on there. But if it's a DC charger, you got to have the other adapter, the expensive one.
Yeah.
Which no,
Well, so guys, tomorrow we're going to have a show all about how to Turo. It's something Bear's been wanting to do for a while, and I have to push him because if he's going to do it on his channel, I want him to do it on both channels because I think it's an interesting topic, and I got some questions. So join us tomorrow for that. We don't know what time. Maybe you could tell us in the comments what time you want it to be, and we'll publish it then. So I do want to thank my patrons as always, and thank Bear's patrons too, even though they're not as good as mine, even the ones in common.
the ones that are in common are obviously the most awesome ones, but the rest of mine is still could kick your patrons' asses. I know that for a fact.
A
So
fact.
thank you for my ass kicking patrons.
Yeah.
We
Thanks
we
everybody.
appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and we'll see you tomorrow for that, or next week for another one of these. And yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you, Bear, for your time.
Thank you, Brian, and we'll be back tomorrow.